Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. I just poke myself in my face with my finger. And ring, if you weren't looking, that's what happened. And ring that little bell. Ring that little bell. I'm going to stay away from that. Ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And maybe I'll put a little bell around my finger. You know, like my cat's got a little bell around his neck, because otherwise we will never find that cat, right? That we have a blind cat. Man, he is small and he is stealthy, but he's very cute as well. He likes to tickle. He likes to tickle. He likes to cuddle. It's very strange, that cat. But he likes to walk by the beat of his own drum or bell, as the case may be. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very, very good. Thank you for joining me here. We got a whole bunch of new news stories to look over. I mean, like, it never freaking ends. Well, now, actually, it's more like the news stories are... I'm looking at the media comment on the news stories of last week, because the news stories of last week were really quite big. You know, Rusty Davis said a lot of stuff last week, which I think is reasonably important for the way of the future Doctor Who, which the Shield media agrees with. So I'm really intrigued to hear what their take is on it. Screenrant talks about Rusty Davis blasting diversity writers, essentially, because their work's rubbish, because they don't like TV, they just want a representation. No, nice that you want representation. I want to watch bloody TV, and I don't want to be lectured, and I want to have a good, intricate plot with decent characters. Now, that shouldn't be too much to bloody ask for, really. That really genuinely shouldn't be too much to ask for, but apparently it has been for quite some time. But the truth is, I think we live in a post-culture war world, right? I think the idea of taking masculine, normally white icons and changing them into anything other than masculine white icons, right? Generally speaking, they have to be women. Occasionally, they let a black person do it, but as long as he's not too uppity. Here's the thing that's amazing to me, how racist they are. They're just so racist to black. I mean, like, I bet the black people are really, really happy now we're letting you be Captain America. Yeah, are you like, thank you, master. You so good to me. Oh, let me sing Babby for you. That's how these people think, right? They think they're just unbelievably good. A black little mermaid. Oh, I feel so sick. No. You feel so condescended to, because that's exactly what it is. Anyway, I think that's over, right? I think Velma pretty much proves that. You cannot coast on identity anymore, which is the entirety of what Velma was based around, right? You can't coast on that. And it's just becoming more and more and more, apparent. The only people who haven't got this are Marvel Studios. They're trying to turn it around, I think, with the movies, but their TV offerings are like, they're so out of place, right? They look so dated now. I mean, they got Ironheart. So Ironheart was an absolutely awful comic book that they when they wanted to have again, no, you can't have a white male Iron Man. No, that would just be wrong. So they had to have a young black girl Iron Man, who was the bestest of everything. Very actually similar to the young black girl Green Lantern that Brian Michael Bendis, the same writer, brought over when he moved to DC. It's like virtually exactly the same story, right? So they're saying it was written in comics to have diversity injected into it. Although, again, Brian Michael Bendis used to be stunning, right? Used to have one of the best comics ever written was Alias, the first Jessica Jones series. That was fantastic. He's just such a sad former shell of his former self now, right? But So instead of being a small black girl, now it's a trans black girl, I think, or I don't know if it's a trans black girl or a trans girl. So essentially, they've gone back to it being a bloke. It's like, okay, this is the weird world that we live in, And Doctor Who's coming back, and I think it's going to have adapted to that world. I think the point of this new production, which we're going to see in the first article, is to be able to train writers to do diversity. These writers who feel like diversity and inclusion and, whether the messaging is very important, they don't know how to write. If they know how to write, they could actually write a story and give their point across without being, now I'm going to use a technical term for you now. Technical term, it might be a bit confusing, without being condescending cunts, right? Condescending cunts. They shouldn't be that. So that's always a bad thing when you're writing. And if you want to know what condescending cunt writing looks like, go watch the trailer for Doctor Who Season 9 Blu-ray from 1972. Man, oh God, it's just cringe. I did a video on that last night. It is super duper cringe, and the only good thing about it is I did get to take the piss out of it quite a lot, so thank you very much for that. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you very much for doing that. I am very grateful for everybody doing that. I actually have to get this video done. I got about an hour, right? I got about an hour to get this video done. We have this thing called a tummy arbor in my house, which is incredibly useful. I don't know if you have them across the world. It's like this little kind of big box thing, and they got one thing where you get hot water, boiling water all the time, another thing where you get fresh filtered water, and then you get cold water, and then you have like not cold water, just general room temperature water. Anyway, for some reason it started flashing insanely and bubbling up water from the drip tray. So I like that. I'm no expert. I'm no technical expert, but that doesn't sound right. So the company finally are coming to look at it, right, today. They're supposed to come last week, but they said the car broke down. I'm really, do you not have another car? No, apparently not. So they're coming today. They're going to be here in about an hour. That's how long. That's essentially the cutoff. I got articles that we can go forever, right? We can go all day. No, that's essentially where the cutoff's going to be. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you very much. Definitely comment, right? Subscribe as well. That's very, very helpful. Thank you very much. I am so grateful for everybody doing that. But do comment and let me know your feedback. I'm starting this. I'm experimenting with new type of content. I've been taking like 5-minute videos from my live streams and making them into their own thing. And seeing what people like. Some people are like, I've seen this before. I'm going to rebrand it, but that's mostly. That sort of stuff I think I'm going to be doing on Twitter. Blue just came to Israel, or they just announced it's coming to Israel. So I'm going to sign up for that and just get that blue check mark. Although Twitter, every one of my tweets you got flagged as being for sensitive content. It's not sensitive. Listen. I'm a sensitive guy. Don't get me wrong. I am a sensitive guy and I do care. But my content not so sensitive. I would say insensitive, quite a lot. So Twitter, Elon Musk, what the hell? Can you sort that out? But I am signing up for Twitter Blue, and that's where my that content will be. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment. Look in the video notes. Sign up to my Substack, my email newsletter, Twitter. Just Twitter, Instagram, Facebook if you want. Not much is on that. But okay, you do what you want, mate. Do what you want. Especially if what you want is to send me lots of money. Do what you want, okay? Do what you want. I won't stop you doing that. Or maybe I will. Actually, if it's going to leave you impoverished, I'll be like, no, don't give me all your money. Here, take a tenner. Me, I'm all heart. That's me for you, all heart. Let's look at this first article. Doink! I'm not looking at anything. I'm not looking at Rusty Davis. Looking very stern there for some reason. Not looking at Shooty. Eyes go straight to Millie, baby. Oh, we love you, Millie. More Millie. I can't wait to see her on screen. I'm quite excited about this era. Anyway, so last week, Rusty Davis, while promoting Nolly, let slip that diverse writers, generally speaking, couldn't write, and their scripts are rubbish. Which, yeah, you can see that if you ever watched any Star Trek Discovery or Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who or Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars. Yes, all those scripts are indeed rubbish. If you can't write, you can't write, and if you haven't learnt to write, you haven't learnt to write. I thought. What's the name? I didn't like Redacted at all, right? I thought the Redacted was the very trans podcast story written by Juno Dawson, who is a trans female writer, which I think that means she's a writer who has a penis. I think, oh, by the way, who is not in hot water, but some people have called out because she's written a book or they've written a book. I don't know what the right pronouns are. I'm sorry. They've written a book about sexuality for kids or something, with links to places where kids can go to hook up with adults to have sex. Yeah, no one has any problem with that. But at least, as I said, Judah Dawson can actually has worked on the craft of writing, right? At least that, which is really very, very important. Which Rusty Davis says, most of these people have not done, right? And again, we've seen it. We've seen the dross they've been putting out for 5 years, right? The culture war is over, baby. That's what that's what Russell was telling you over here. Rusty Davis has been a critical of modern screenwriters because they write shit, which gives a potentially revealing insight into how his new Doctor Who era will operate. Well, this is old news for me. I've been long convinced he is very, very, very attached to to activism, to LGBTQ activism, when he was young in London. I mean, just watch It's a Sin, right? The open bigotry against gay people in the 80s existed. I was having this conversation with my kids over Sabbath, and I try to explain to them, up until 2016, nobody, from about 2000, maybe 2010, to 2015, nobody really thought about racism, right? Nobody really cared about race. Well, but we lived in a post-racial society, right? And anything that could be labelled as racism automatically is with little thought. And when you look at it, not so much. Like a lot of people, it must be a lot of people. A lot of people are not on board for Shooting Gappers casting. Oh yeah, I want to be very clear. I'm really excited by it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's going to do. But a lot of people are not on board because they think the character is intrinsically white, because the character has been white for 60-odd years, right? Again, I want to be clear. That's not my point of view, right? But I don't think that's a racist point of view. If you're saying that black people can't, be a brilliant science hero like Doctor Who, I disagree with you. I disagree. Saying this specific character has been established as not being black, then factually that's correct. I mean, took 59 years of not being black. I kind of, once you've done anything for 59 years, I think it's a given, right? So, but again, maybe they are racist, right? Maybe we'll say, oh, black people, they can't be James Bond. Look at them, they're not clever enough. No. Anybody who says that is racist, right? But you have to ask people what their reasons are for their opinion, because anything that can be labeled racist, and I think disingenuously labeled racist to give people power, right? It will be, right? So you have to look into the reasons why. Rusty Davis has been critical of modern screenwriters, gives a bit how they operate. Criticisms made by Rusty Davis about the state of modern TV writing reveals a lot about what audience can expect from his Doctor Who's future. In a joint interview with fellow Doctor Who fan and writer Mark Gatiss promote Nolly, I've seen the first episode of Nolly. Mark Gatiss isn't even in it. I don't know why they got both of them together. It's kind of, I mean, they're just friends, I guess. Where are we up to? I got this video playing about Avatar. I have so little interest. Is it out on Disney Plus yet? I have really so little interest. I might watch it when it's on Disney Plus, but let me get it away. It's distracting me. Oh, better. Better. It's mostly gone. But yeah, first episode of Nolly was very good. Davis spoke about the poor quality of TV scripts he sees during his work as a screenwriting mentor. And good on him for being a mentor. All right, that I think that's really great. While his comments received some backlash on social media, from the crying idiot children who have never ever heard the word no. Right? Ever heard the word no? You can't do that, or you're wrong, or you got no. They lost it. Like, no, they're not rubbish. They're not rubbish. No, they were rubbish, mate. They were. I'm sorry. Again, we've all seen them. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hide your Doctor? You put it on TV, mate. We saw what Chris Chibnall did. They were rubbish, right? Welcome to some of social media. They do hint a possible direction of shooting gut with season 14. And the reason I'm reading this from Screenrant is Screenrant are the #1 flag waivers for diversity and inclusion, which has generally speaking been absolute garbage, right? It just has not resulted in anything being good. Talking about young writers he mentors, Davis observed via the Times that the generation of up-and-coming writers that are trapped and wanting a job in any in that medium purely to increase representation. And I think the reason they feel that way is because their brains have been controlled by, disingenuous people, right? The world's changed very quickly over a very short period of time, right? It's now you're a bigot if you don't want to take your kid to a strip club, right? Oh, you bigot. Ugh. And it's so weird, but that's really where we are, right? If you don't want to take your kid to an all-age drag show, you're a bigot. It doesn't look. It seems to me that's a highly sexualized performance, but I guess not. No, well, I don't guess not. They are. And how did attitudes change so quickly? I believe, and I believe because of the Twitter files dump, that social media is essentially curated by the CIA. The CIA or the FBI all working together, but the CIA and FBI, it's not like they don't have a paedophile problem. Well, actually, they have no paedophile problem whatsoever. They love paedophiles. There's so much paedophilia going on in the CIA. If I was you and I was under the age of 12, I wouldn't go near any CIA building, right? And they might as well put NAMBLA on the bloody front. Rather than CIA, but yeah, they like the three little things. So when you have a bunch of pedophiles secretly, covertly curating social media to generate a narrative, is it any wonder that things have got a bit weird with the LGBTQ plus struggle? Nobody really minded anything about the LGBTQ plus until it became about children, and it's very clearly all about children now, right? But I digress. So he said they want the job. So why do they want to increase representation? Why do they feel that they're not being seen? Why do black people feel they're not seen in society, right? Why do gay people not feel they're seen in society? It's because, honestly, I don't see any, parades with floats of fat Jewish people twerking on them. Frankly, I wouldn't want to see that. And I felt a bit too seen in society, quite frankly. You can stop looking at me. Move on to some of the weirdos. Thank you very much. Right? It's. I think it's because the people are being duped. Bottom line, people are being duped. Right? It's. And I think more and more people are waking up to it. I think when people like Rusty Davis do realize how much that the LGBTQ plus have been used by disingenuous, massive multinational corporations for evil ends. Yeah, I think he'll be a little bit miffed, quite frankly. I think that day is coming very soon, right? This year, right? I think before his Doctor Who comes out, Rusty Davis is going to be like, wait, what? I wonder if that's going to happen. I see things changing, mate. Let's have a look. Let's wait and see, I should say. I read their scripts and they're rubbish. That he's saying this publicly is a great indication of the wind of change. Right? This gives us some insight into the writers Rusty Davis may be looking to involve in season 14. It's clear that Davis feels a lot of young writers do not understand the medium of TV, and if that truly is the case, it means that it could mean one of two things for the future of Doctor Who. Oh, let's see what they says. Rusty Davis Christian teases the returning Doctor Who writers for shooting Gatwa's era. I actually don't think so. I don't think no. I think it's very important. Yeah, it's very, very important to Rusty Davis that he creates a new generation of writers, right? I think especially gay writers who can talk about the issues that he feels are important, which I think most writers just can't do it. They don't have the ability. Again, I think I mentioned already in this video Pete McTeague's trailer for Doctor Who season 9. That's a typical current day writer, completely devoid of the ability to do the job. Right? And you haven't seen that trailer. The first line is about these two girls who are in a cave for some reason and they're gay, right? The first line is that, hi, we're from a teeny tiny segment of society. We just happen to be on screen. Oh, yeah. Whereas, again, Last of Us, episode 3, tour de force, fantastic creation of character with a story. Oh, man. I like characters in the story. Now you may say, well, it's only a 3-minute piece. I couldn't put that much character in the story. Well, that's an indication. If it's not about gay people and climate change, maybe make it what it's about, rather than focusing on stuff that makes you feel good about yourself, makes you feel like you're virtuous, which is what it's all about. If Rusty Davies truly believes a proportion of modern screenwriters do not understand TV, he may be looking for experienced hands to join him on Doctor Who. I think it's more likely he wants to create a hub, right? He wants to create a teaching environment. Having already brought back David Tennant and Catherine Tate for the 6th anniversary and assembling a production team that includes... I mean, listen, the first season is 8 episodes, and we got 3 episodes of the anniversary, and then... what was it? 3 episodes of the anniversary, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11, the Christmas special, and... another Christmas special, 9/10. So I'm pretty sure Russell that's over what a period of 2 years. I think Russell's going to write most of them themselves, or he's going to bring in new talent. I think Scott Hancock will probably be writing. I would really love him to give Nick Briggs a job, right? I would really love him to give Nick Briggs a tap on the shoulder. He so freaking deserves it, right? He so deserves it. I mean, just a solid writer. Not very, his stuff isn't that populist, but boy, does he understand war. He understands war movies, and he understands Daleks, right? He understands Cybermen as well. And he should really give Nick Briggs a tap. But also Scott Hancock as well, you know? University Assembling and Production Team that includes many figures that worked on the show between 2005 and 2010. Well, they're all his mates. Yeah, that makes sense. It seems clear that Rusty Davies is getting the band back together again. Absolutely. It remains to be seen whether this band reunion will be extended to Doctor Who showrunner Stephen Moffat. Well, no, he said very explicitly he's not going to be writing anything. His quote was something along the lines of, I shouldn't say quote, he said something along the lines of, it'll be madness for him to go back to Doctor Who as a junior capacity in this stage of his career. Right, yeah, he's a show. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. I would like to see maybe he wants to do like a 3-part miniseries on Disney Plus. Like, well, he has control over. That makes sense to me, right? But like a Paternoster Gang or something like that, which I hope they don't do. But let's say they want to do a Matt Smith, 3-part special or something like that. Yeah, I can see him bringing Moffat in for that, and essentially giving him creative control. Which is what he did from originally when in the 2005 to 2010 he saw Empty Child and the Doctor Dances, and then after that he's like, we just kind of left Stephen alone to do whatever he wants because he's always right. And essentially it's more often than not that's true. It remains to be seen Stephen Moffat or Davis Times interview companion Mark Gatiss. It will be interesting. Mark Gatiss coming. I'm sure he wants to, right? Interesting. Stephen Moffat, speaking to the Radio Times, said it would have to be insane to return to Doctor Who. Crucially, however, Moffat does not deny that he would turn in a script for the new era if. Yes, he did. Categorically denied it. He said, "I wouldn't do what? How much more categorically does you want him to deny that?" Well, that's freaking insane, isn't it? What? Yes, he absolutely categorically denied it. It's okay. Aside from Rusty Davies as lead writer, the remaining writers of Shooting Gatwa's first season are yet to be announced. I mean, okay. Giving they must be written already. They're filming episodes 5 and 6 now, aren't they? I think in this block. Given the improved approach to promotion, the reluctance to announce the name of the writers in the early stage could suggest big names in the Doctor Who universe, and names that will garner headlines and column inches. Well, that could be, right? Here's the question. Would he get J.K. Rowling to write an episode? That would be a real statement, right? A real massive statement about what the creative direction of Doctor Who is in the future. If he brings in J.K. Rowling, I think that'd be fantastic, right? I mean, absolutely fantastic. And meanwhile, we see the power of the J.K. Rowling hating group out there as Hogwarts Legacy, after being attacked. They said, "Don't, boycott is the number one game on every freaking platform." Mwah! Love it. Freaking love it. Oh, I love their complete lack of power. Yes, I do. I do enjoy that. Rusty Davis' new era should cultivate the next generation. Well, that is, I think, the plan. That's absolutely the plan. For Doctor Who to continue regenerating, there needs to be a more concerted effort to nurture the next generation talent. Well, you know, I will say this about Chris Chibnall. He very much did do that, right? But he brought in new talent, but he didn't nurture them, right? He didn't teach them what to do, right? But that was his goal, to nurture new talent. Vinay Patel. I mean, yes, they were all people with fashionable identities that made him look good. Oh, God, it's so cringe. Right, yes, that is all the case. But still, I still think the effort was a good one, right? I think it was, even though it didn't really work. Rusty Davis returning Doctor Who is partly a byproduct and nobody else appearing to want the job following Chris Chibnall's departure. Well, that is also, that's what they've said over and over again. If Rusty Davis has not made a game-changing deal with BBC, it's entirely possible Doctor Who would have gone off the air for a considerable amount of time again. Yes, while they try to find somebody to run it. I mean, although J. Michael Straczynski was interested, if Rusty Davis was, he would have been a good choice. There's a few choices out there. They could have, I think... who was it? Stephen King's son. Is it Joe Hill? I honestly, I didn't really like Lock and Key. I think that was his show that much. But fine, whatever. I think they would have found some showrunner. But it probably... I don't know, like who knows what would happen. Because again, I do feel the era of woke is over. The back is broken on it, right? When I say woke, taking Doctor Who or any show and using it as a platform for... a number of different ideologies which are not widely supported in the world, which is why they wanted to platform it, right? If Rusty Davis, the problem will not go away unless the new Rusty Davis era actually cultivates next generation of writers. Well, and you have to say this as well about Doctor Who. Doctor Who is something that's always on the absolute cutting edge of the cultural zeitgeist. Regardless of where that is, in the last few years, the culture has been in the toilet. It's been obsessed with identity. It's been obsessed with race, right? That's where culture has lived, right? But that's why Doctor Who was very much like that. I think Doctor Who in the mid-'80s, it was very much a very mid-'80s show. I mean, it could have been much better, but it's always... it's always been one of the hippest things ever, which means it should be too young, right? It should be too young for people like me, right? Or it should be... I like that it feels like it's a bit too young for people like me. I think that's right. During the tail end of the classic era, Doctor Who became a proving ground for writers like Rivers of London creator Ben Aronovich. Yes, look, the creative... what am I looking for? Explosion that happened in the McCoy years under Andrew Cartmel, of like, again, a creative explosion, and you had great talent, right? Mark Gatiss, I think, just missed that, and Rusty Davis just missed that era for about 3 or 4 years, right? But Ben Aronovich is a great example. He, alongside scripter Andrew Cartmel and writers like Rhoda Munro, yes, Ian Briggs, Mark Platt, another great one. Revitalized the show during the seventh Doctor and Ace's era. You know what? I would absolutely love to see in season 25, when they release that on Blu-ray, they have this thing called Behind the Sofa, where you have people watch Doctor Who. I would love was it Michael Grade to watch Remembrance of the Daleks. I would love him to watch that and see what he thinks. I think he would have thought that's quite good. He'll be like, this has a lot, because he didn't even know that was being made unless BBC while it was on, right? I would love to see his take on it. I would love to see, because I think that's just a strong production. What else is in that season? Happiness Patrol. I'd like to hear it. Yeah, I want to see Michael Grade do behind those others. So Happiness Patrol, Silver Nemesis, bit of cack. What can you do? And Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I liked a lot, right? I think all of those things are qualitatively good. Okay, especially there's a scene at the end of Greatest Show in the Galaxy where Sylvester McCoy walks out of a tent with this massive explosion behind him, and he doesn't flinch. It is perfect, right? And he said it was huge. Like, just a great piece of acting there. If Rusty Davis had been mentoring young actors since leaving Doctor Who, was mentoring young writers, I say, while he's in Doctor Who before. That's how we got a lot of those young writers. Despite his headline-grabbing criticisms, he surely knows the right young creators to approach. I think he is creating a new era, a new era of talent. In doing so, the new era of Doctor Who can properly future-proof. I still can't say it. Future-proof itself beyond the initial excitement David Tennant's era and Shooting Gatler's debut. That's I agree with that. That's I say a fair bit of analysis there by Screenrant. Again, the times are changing, baby. The times they are changing. So this is something else that came out last week that I didn't know about, which I found pretty interesting. Doctor Who's 60th anniversary trailer originally revealed bigger plans, and there are a lot bigger plans, right? There's a lot bigger plans. Rusty Davis planned to unveil a whole lot more, but thought better of it. So yeah, this is interesting. Look, Rusty Davis's professionalism is massive, right? And I think it extends from his basic politeness, his basic moral stance. I think he's a very moral person, right? I think he's intrinsically a very moral and decent person, right? I never met him. I might be wrong, right? I might genuinely be wrong. I watch everything he does, and you see who a writer is through their work, right? And you know who Robert Holmes is from watching Robert. You know what his sense of humor was. You know what annoyed him. You know, it's the same thing with Chris Boucher, right? You know who people are through their work. Rusty Davis more so than most. Fine. The Doctor Who's 6th anniversary is set to be one of the biggest events in the show's history. While there are already tiny glimpses of what's to come in the trailer, showrunner Rusty Davis has revealed he originally planned to unveil a lot more before thinking better of it. To think what we could have had. Well, we're gonna have it, baby. It's coming. Okay. David and Catherine Lake set to return to Doctor Who in 3 specials helmed by showrunner blah blah. Before Shudiker and Millie Gibson take over the TARDIS. Teaser released on Christmas Day took everyone by surprise. Me too, right? With a clip revealing new cast members and sneak peek of adventures that we'll have. Writing in Doctor Who magazine said those 60 seconds were originally designed to be a much larger 90-second trailer long to go out after Power of the Doctor. And I do like that he's holding things back. A trailer for, things that are secret. Announcements of our bigger plans. That must be the spin-offs. Right? But then we said, no, too soon. In all fairness, realised this is Jota's night. Well, yes, it is. You got to put yourself in the place before David Tennant appeared on screen. Doctor Who was in doldrums. It was a national embarrassment, an international embarrassment, right? It had totally and completely failed. And David Tennant appeared, and everything changed. It turns like that. I don't think Rusty Davis expected that to happen. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought it would happen, by osmosis over time. But I didn't expect it to happen so viscerally and so quickly like it did. I mean, it really, 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 really did. But I think he felt that it will still be somewhat tainted by the Jodie Whittaker era, right? He also revealed that Christmas Day trailer includes absolutely zero footage from the second special, meaning there's still plenty of surprises to come. Yeah, Daleks, baby, Daleks. The specials are already shaping up to be pretty spectacular with stellar class, blah, blah, blah. Fine, yeah. Hustle with Yasmin Finney, blah, 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 blah. Ruth Maladay, fine, Maladay, whoever. Fine, so we're expecting to see David Tennant, but man, we're not excited to hear David Tennant's political commentary. So, here's my take on British politics. All politicians are bad, right? All politicians are awful, and they should probably be stripped naked and shame marched through every town, have feces and vomit poured on them, right? I from the angry crowds around. So when he says David Tennant brands towards a team of fuckwits, right, in a savage rant on Channel 4's Last Leg, that's true. I don't think anybody can look at Rishi Sunak and go, that man is not a fuckwit, right? And there's no sane, honest person who can look at the Prime Minister and go, oh yeah, that person is totally not a fuckwit. Yes, no, he absolutely is. But there's no way you can look at Labour and go, oh, they're not a bunch of fuckwits. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they're also racist fuckwits, and the racism is against me. So I'm a little bit touchy about that one. What can I tell you? And Doctor Who star David Tennant didn't hold back when he spoke about the Conservative Party on Channel 4's Last Leg in expletive-ridden rant. Again, look, mate, I don't think anyone's genuinely arguing you, but please be a bit honest with yourselves. Right, Jeremy Corbyn was an anti-Semite, is an anti-Semite, right? From a family of anti-Semites with anti-Semitic children, anti-Semitic brothers, probably anti-Semitic parents. A very traditional anti-Semite, somebody who looks down their nose at Jews and has this like revulsion about them, and then is not even honest enough to be honest about their anti-Semitism. You know, peddles every anti-Semitic narrative this side of I don't know, the Holocaust, and then goes, well, me, no, Jeremy doesn't have an anti-Semitic bone in his body. Yes, he does, you ignorant, dumb cunt. And may I say, David Tennant, if you would rant about Jeremy Corbyn, you would have a lot more fucking credibility than you do. But having said that, put your coat on and be Doctor Who. That's all we really want, right? You know, shut up and dribble, I think is the expression. David Tennant called Tour as a team of fuckwits again. No one's arguing with you on this, right? No one's saying no. And again, look how they're destroying the country. But by saying this is left wing or right wing, what, you want to tell me the Biden Democrats are not fuckwits? Really? A Chinese spy balloon floated. Okay, they tracked a massive Chinese spy balloon the size of 2 sodding buses while it's in international waters, while it floated over to America, floated over its nuclear silos, right? And then when somebody noticed it, they said, oh yeah, no, we're not going to shoot that down. No, we don't. We don't want to be aggressive. No. And then basically they had so much. They had their asses handed them so much by everybody in media and social media. That's how bad it was. They finally shot it down yesterday. I mean, after it finished spying for China, and it's not the first one, and they're probably pissed off China, which is every second that balloon existed over America, right, is another pebble of proof, right? Another pound, the weight of proof that how much America is owned by China. American politicians, American business, they're completely owned by China, and they were just humiliated by China. Again, right? Doctor Who star 51 was on the show speaking about the widespread industrial action affecting the country, highlighting the sterling efforts of the NHS during lockdown. Oh, really? And then they all got fucked over when anybody didn't want to take a vaccine, which, as it turns out, the universal rollout of it may have not been the best fucking idea. You know, did nobody really notice that? You know, died suddenly? Nobody, hashtag died suddenly? No? Oh, that's all totally normal, is it? Okay. Again, I took the vaccine, right? I took it 3 times. I'm somebody who should take the vaccine. If you're in bad health, as I am, or if you're old, as I am, you know, you should take the fucking vaccine. It's probably a good idea. If you get COVID, it'll kill you, right? An elderly gentleman, 93, passed away last week from fucking COVID in my town. right? That we all loved, and it was eventually COVID. They got he was in it. You know, it was 93, right? What are you gonna do? But like, yes, if you're in a danger group, take the fucking vaccine. I think if it's not a danger to you. If you're young and healthy, no. Okay. This is not medical advice, okay? I'm not a doctor. I do not know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, if you're young and healthy, and shutting down society was probably a bad idea as well. Okay. But yeah, you assholes threw everybody under the bus when they wouldn't take a vaccine, when they went, wait, what? Terrible. After everything that's gone through the pandemic, the nurses are going on strike to be paid what they're worth. It makes you want to spit, doesn't it? Actually, yes, I agree with you, right? I agree with you. Don't pretend Labour's better, you dumb cunt. Good God. What? Because you wear a brown coat that you're good at running up and down a corridor doesn't mean you're a political fucking pundit, you moron. And you've got Rishi going, listen, we'd love to give them a pay rise, but unfortunately, Mad Queen Liz put the economy on a dumpster fire. What? What's it got to do with the Queen? So my hands are tied. What? Wait a minute. Is Rishi Sunak, who I don't like, right, throwing the Queen, who I do like, under the bus? That's not a good idea, mate. That's not a good idea. Especially not for the Conservative base, who like the Queen. What? After an uncomfortable pause, the actor quickly clarified that which he was talking about. Saying it was a former Prime Minister. Okay, thank you. And not the late monarch. Well, thank you for clarifying. What did she do? She was in power for like 25 minutes? And like, again, Rishi Sunak's lying. Almost certainly, how can you tell? His lips are moving. Jeremy Corbyn is an anti-Semite. Can you address that and then get some credibility? Because until you can, fuck off! Oh, and I say that with all due respect, which is he joked, whoa, I nearly ended up in a tower, the Liz that nobody liked. Okay, that's fair enough. Nobody did like her. Continuing attack on the government, David continued, it's the lack of accountability. Dude, talk about Biden's government in America, for God's sake, as well. Don't make this left and right. Yeah. God. They're going, there's nothing we can do. It's the last Prime Minister has nothing to do with us. She fucked it all up. They're all the same fuckwits. They are, but so are we Labour politicians, mate. When asked by host Adam Hills who we would like to see run the country, David quipped, somebody. Again. Look, I hate to say this. For me, the people to run the country, you need a triumph of three people. You need Alan Moore, innovative working class artist. You need Johnny Lydon working with Alan Moore, and then you need Nigel Farage to kind of tie it all together and bring some sanity into it, right? They're the people I would like to see run the country, right? So the audience whooped and cheered after his speech. Viewers at home took to Twitter praising the Scot for his points, right? But come up with some fucking solutions then. One said David Tennant calling a story of fuckwits on the last leg is fucking class. Not really. No, I mean, not really, mate. It's actually the opposite there. Another wrote, they're all the same team of fuckwits. They're all the same team of fuckwits, writes the last leg David Tennant for Prime Minister. Yeah, make him Prime Minister. Yeah, let's see how you do it, mate. Well, third penned, is they're the same team of fuckwits. Yeah, again, if you don't like politicians, we love. Yeah, I agree with you, but you don't. So David, mate, David, stop it. Stop it. That, like, I understand from your ivory tower, you're very, very cross. Very, very, very cross. So why don't you go and do something? Go and help someone. And I'm not dissing David Tennant. I actually think he's a good person. I think he's a moral person. And this is what really upsets me about the age we live in, right? It also upsets me with Rusty Davis. I think I spoke about this earlier in the video. You know, they take their nobility, their good traits, their desire for good and goodness, which is what this is all coming from. Like Rusty Davis, he doesn't want to see trans people have to go through the same thing that he went through, right? David Tennant says, oh, well, I'm doing well, but what about everybody else around me? It's not fair. Yes, that's all true, but then you're being usurped by people who couldn't give a shit about anybody else other than themselves to blurt out this bull crap. So there'd just be more control over normal people who you actually care about. I think the Great Awakening is coming. I think it's good. We're going to call it the moment of truth. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think it's coming. Am I excited about that? Reasonably. I'm reasonably excited about that, but I'm also reasonably excited about Doctor Who coming back, so I do hope we don't have some kind of horrible nuclear apocalypse, which we are probably going to have, to prohibit that. But, it's good to hope. It's good outside to look forward to. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. Yeah!